Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Couch. I'm Sean Kelly.
And I'm Mavish Khan. To start off our show today, we're here with Kara Velarde, class of 2007, and Cody Crushell, class of 2009. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Thanks for having us.
So to start off, what is it like to be back?
It's crazy. So much stuff has changed and so much has stayed the same.
Yeah, I mean, you come in here and you recognize the set, and that's about all you recognize. And then you drive through campus, and half of the buildings that are here now weren't when you graduated. So,
Exactly.
Before we get into your careers, I have to go back to what you were telling us
Sure.
about the sets that you were building them.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that, because I'm still...
Basically, the sets that are here now, I think, were put in my sophomore year, I think. And before that, there was no sets at all. So we just had literally building blocks that you would put together to create your set. It was incredible.
And so, it's been a very long time since you guys have been back here. What are you guys up to now in the big real world that everyone's so afraid of?
So I graduated here in 2009. I've worked up and down the East Coast. Right now I'm at Princeton University in their athletic department. I oversee the multimedia department. So a lot of different things that I learned and got experience with at RTN have carried over, and not a lot changes. So.
Yeah. I was, after I graduated in 2007, I started working at what was then NBC 40 back in 2008. And I started as a production assistant, and I kind of worked my way up to be the director and then the senior director. And unfortunately, NBC 40 closed down a couple of years ago, end of 2014. But we started a new TV station that's based out of Millville. It covers the whole South Jersey area and outer area. And I direct the news now. So I'm also the in-house production coordinator, like kind of keeping track of any kind of TV shows that we have with our kind of sister company, Glass Sound Productions. So yeah.
So funny. And going off of what you said, Chris, Cody, going off.
Chris is my middle name.
Oh, well, that's good. Hey, I got one of them. Going off what you said, Cody, you said RTN. The experience of RTN, how do you feel that RTN gives you experience for the real world?
And I think this is the case with a lot of majors and a lot of different places you would go, but especially in an industry like media production. You learn from the classes, and there's some great professors here, but RTN, you get that hands-on experience, and you get to take the equipment out, and you get to, it simulates the real world. It's a lot closer to what you'll be doing, and most of the people that went through RTN with us, the people that were really committed to doing what you guys are doing here have been able to have success in the field more so than people who maybe didn't get involved in RTN. And that was one of the things that I liked when I came to Rowan, the fact that something like this exists. And I said every time I come back, I'm a little bit jealous of campus. I walk through the control room now and see some of the equipment that you guys get to work on. So it's just a great place to kind of hone your craft and have experience to get that first internship and translate that into some real world experience and be ready to go when you get that first job.
Yeah, I say that I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for RTN. Like I was actually a writing arts major my freshman year when I came to school, and I was interested in TV. I had done TV in high school, but I had kind of gotten away from it. And then I decided, I had met someone at my freshman orientation who was like, hey, I heard of this club. It's really fun, like RTN, you should join. And I joined, and then before you know it, I was doing all the events, volunteering for as much as possible. And my sophomore, junior and senior year, I did training. I was tech manager. My junior year, I was president of the TV station my senior year. And I say that if I didn't have that, I don't think I would be here today, because it gave me, like you said, complete real hands-on experience. Whereas when I was a freshman, I was getting the experience that you get in, back then it was called TV1, TV2, to the point of when I actually took my TV1 class, the professor would be like, hey, Kara, you know this, you're in RTN, so, why don't you show people? And, I was a little embarrassed about that, but I loved the fact that, I knew everything before I even took the class. And I'm not saying the classes didn't help, because they totally did, and they go a lot more in depth into certain things, but I really think that, everyone during my time would joke that RTN was almost like a fraternity or a sorority because, you know, I would spend like every hour, like even talking about the homecoming week, which, you know, you talk about as like, you know, that's the crazy, that tells you if you're going to be a real RTN member because of all the events we used to cover like for that week.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of leading into that. So, you know, it's kind of like a fraternity because the people that are on campus and are interested in what you're interested in are here. And you know, RTN and Rowan RTF, they have this whole group that's on the West Coast, and I think I have more friends out there than I do on the East Coast now because they've all gone out there. But it's, you know, the people that are into lighting and videography and cinematography and audio, you know, you kind of have, you can learn from them and kind of go deeper into things that you might just get an overview of in class. And kind of going with what Kara was saying, you know, homecoming, I don't know if there was a more fun event than homecoming. And I think back to the Cocoa runs, you know, just running around through the fraternity houses when they're building the floats the night before the homecoming parade. And all of that, you know, just those are the memories, and it's more the people than what we actually did here that stick out.
And it gives you an example of hard work, you know, like you said, like it was, homecoming week was always the hardest week. It was what tested you, especially it tested new members of the club and everything. But after that week, you just felt exhilarated. It was just like you felt like you could do anything. And you really could, because you were doing what I do now, what you, I'm sure, do now, you know, like you get all that experience.
So you've mentioned so many memories, but what is one memory that always sticks out in your mind that you remember all the time, like your favorite memory?
You go ahead.
You know, Kara mentioned, you know, everything that you do here, you can do something and be proud of it. And when I got here, we were just kind of starting to get into sports. We had produced a couple of football games, and then we had some more interest. And I think the first time we were able to produce a football game on the road, I remember it was a Friday night, probably 2007 or 2008, and we got 12 college kids to give up their Friday night to go up to TCNJ and kind of took over their press box and produced a football game. And that was a neat feeling to be able to have, you know, have that kind of teamwork on it. And, you know, I think sometimes that's something you miss in the real world, the fact that you're working on something and, you know, you're here. If you need help on a project, you can call your 12 best friends and they'll come and they'll give up their night and help you out. And that's something that you know, was really special about RTN and the RTF program here.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like, I can't even pinpoint a particular memory that I have because the entire time was great. Like there were so many times like that where, like you said, like my friends were members of the club. My friend, that was it. It wasn't like I didn't have really any friends my freshman year. I remember disliking my roommates and I hated so there was times where I literally just would stay over my friend's apartment and I would just hang out there because we would watch movies and watch TV shows and make our own movies and TV shows because that's what was fun to us, was making TV.
And it's also been nice to see, so my junior year was the first year of the RTN telethon, and it's been really cool to see how that's transformed. And I mean, you guys have it down. It seems like you have the formula, and you know, I'll try to tune in and catch a few minutes every year, and it just what that's grown into. And you know, I think the people that came before Kara and I would probably say the same thing. You know, what we were able to build on, and you know, that's how we've gotten to 25 years here.
Yeah, it's incredible.
What's any final advice to people going on?
Just do I would just say if you have any interest in joining the club, join the club and take as much time as you can. Of course, you have other obligations, but this can help you. It can really get you anywhere you want to go.
The people that I met in RTN that are working in the industry, most of them aren't doing what they thought they would be doing when they first joined RTN. So, you know, if you want to be on air, don't be afraid to jump behind a camera or work up in the control room. And this is a good place to get that experience and really see what you like and get some of that experience.
Yeah, I always worked camera and stuff like that, and I would always do studio, and now I direct. I never thought I wanted to direct. I actually don't think I directed a lot when I was here, but you know, that's what I ended up training to do, and working behind the scenes, working as a production assistant, and you know, getting the training, I eventually ended up directing, and now I love it. It's my favorite thing.
Great. Well, thank you guys for that insight and advice about the club and your endeavors now. And coming up after the break, we will have Rowan Television Network studio engineer Carl Frandino and television production coordinator Casey Holcomb. So stay with us.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. You just heard from Kara and Cody, and now we have Casey and Carl with us. How are you doing today?
Very good.
Thanks so
Great.
much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us. And you two have very big, prominent jobs here in the college, as well as working out with the club here. I could start off with Casey. Casey, you were a graduate here at Rowan, and what made you want to come back and stick with the club?
The money. Definitely
the money.
No,
We don't
honestly,
matter.
it was I was working morning news for a long time, for about 4 years in Philadelphia, and I was a photographer there, and I liked it, but I was more of wanted a change in pace, and I was tired of working the midnight to noon shift. So I saw an opening here, and I said, I fit all the qualifications. I'd love to come back and teach. I always trained people. I trained our interns. I showed everyone, the ropes around where I was, and then I decided, I want to come back and one day teach. So.
Wow. And Carl, you're not a graduate of Rowan, but you're a big part here, being the studio engineer. What is it about your job that you like so much in giving back to the college?
Well, there's never a duplicate semester. Every semester is different. You have new faces, new people, new challenges. And there was a period of time where our equipment and systems were just riding along, holding their own, and there was a lot of activity just to keep things running. And so that was a priority. And then as students got to be more of a priority as time went on, because it was them that really that I got into. My parents were teachers, and I was at a high school before I came down here, so I was always into education and at some level or another. And so the dynamics of having students and new faces every semester is really what's the best part of the job itself.
All right.
So regarding radio, TV, film, were you always involved in that spectrum, even in college, or is that something that kind of happened later on?
For me, I was a techie from the start. When I was in high school, I built a mixing board, and I was able to bring it into the art room and wire speakers in 3 art rooms and run my own DJ room when I was in high school. And so from that point on, I was into audio and sound and media. And then I went to school for recording and television production. And in an engineering sense. And then I came out with a 2-year degree and then transferred to State University in New York at New Paltz. So I had the bug to be a technical person from the start. My mother will tell you that.
Yeah, with me, I think it was back when my dad first got our own first camcorder, a big old clunky plastic thing, and it was, but he'd let me play with it, and I'd go around and videotape stuff. Now I look back at it and I'm sick of it. I'm like, oh, what was I doing? But it was always like do my own little shows or do things like that, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. And then going into college, I had some change of minds. I wanted to do aviation. I wanted to work on power lines. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then I was like, oh, they have a TV course here. I didn't know they had a TV course. So I took one. I was going to Rowan. I was going to Mercer County Community College at that time. And then I said, oh, they have a TV program there. So I started taking that. And then I said, oh, let's go to Rowan. So I came down to Rowan and followed one of my friends here. My first experience with RTN was going into the club. I knew nobody there except for one person, and then I was scared. I was like mortified when I went into that meeting. This is back when we were meeting at the Student Center, the Chamberlain Student Center. Yeah. And the first day I had one of the e-board come up to me and they welcomed me with open arms and they brought me around. I said I walked out of there with at least 10 friends that first meeting, and then that's what kept me coming back. And those friends ended up getting me a job. One friend got me a job, and then that job got me another job, and then that job brought me back here. So.
Wow.
And for Casey, coming back here to Rowan, do you, how do you, when you come back here, you're here at this point and you were here at another point, how do you connect those two, or like do you apply what you were doing back then to now, or is it two different kinds of worlds for you?
Oh, it's two different worlds completely. I mean, it's the other side of education. That's what Professor Winkler had told me. He said it's the other side of education. You're seeing what you didn't see as students, because as students you're here maybe 1 to 2 to 3 days a week. I'm here 5 days a week. Yeah. 8 hours a day. Should be 7 hours. I'm here 8 hours a day. And, 8 to 10 hours a day. Usually I see the students here at 8 a.m. and I see you guys at 9 p.m. and like, you've gone and slept since then. I'm like, no, I'm still going. I'm still kicking. So.
Still going.
No, it's fun. It's nice to see where their club has gone, and I'm excited to see where the club goes in the future.
All right. And for just the two of you, for a question, if someone wanted to try to get into the field that you guys were getting into in engineering and coordinating, what would you give advice to someone just coming in, didn't know what they wanted to do yet?
Learn everything you can here. I mean, once you're done here at Rowan, there's not many chances for you to get your hands on all this equipment that we have here. So, you should learn how to run prompter, you should learn how to do the graphics machine, you should learn how to do everything, because in the industry today, it's all rolled into one package. Usually one person is operating or doing the jobs of 4 or 5 people. So it's definitely good to be multi-versed and learn how to do things. If you want to be a journalist, you should know how to shoot things. You should know how to edit, because that's what's in the real world. They're called MMJs, and they go out and they shoot and edit their own packages, and they turn their own packages within 2 or 3 hours after shooting it. And that's the way it works. So it's a very time-sensitive industry as well. So staying on top of your projects, making sure things are getting done. College is getting you ready for it. So it won't be easy, but it'll be fun.
What was your biggest struggle coming out of college into the real world?
Accumulating the file full of rejection letters that came from the variety of places that you apply for initially, and being willing to not just think, okay, television broadcasting is where I want to be, but going off in other areas, whether it might be a corporation, small companies that do media production. Back then it was strictly television and audio, radio. And then opening my mind up to the educational side of things, and then becoming a media technician at a high school, running an AV squad similar to the RTN group in a college. It's similar. And so that's being open to other areas, not just broadcasting, producing, directing, the glamour, getting your hands dirty and gaining the skill set in a wide variety of areas is important.
And for the two of you, you've had these jobs for quite a while now. You guys are getting really into it. And what do you think that is there been any difference to what you thought about going into these jobs, and what you've been thinking now?
He can speak a lot longer. He's been here a few years more than I have. I'm only here around 8 months now. This is my first almost full year here in September. September will be 1 year. So Carl has a few more years on me.
Well, it's being at one place for an extended period of time gives you the opportunity to feel comfortable in what you're doing. If you get the support of your colleagues, such as Casey, Professor Winkler, department chairs, other faculty, and you're giving the freedom to experiment a little, make your own decisions, even though you might be making a decision that impacts curriculum. If you're given this latitude in an institution, you'll apt to stay there longer. And obviously, I've been here for a while, at the inception of the program pretty much. And so I've been able to exercise some latitude in doing things that I felt was worthy of the program and its growth.
Casey, you mentioned networking. Can you talk about how important networking is, especially in this field?
It's amazingly important. I mean, it's a small industry. You don't know how small it is until, I'm out there with other photogs in the field and I'm like, oh yeah, I went to Rowan. They're like, oh, I went to Glassboro State, or I went to Rowan too. And there's just like, wow, these all small, close-knit people are all from the same college. And you're just like, there's a lot of Rowan graduates out there. But, unfortunately, you gotta, sometimes you gotta take a job that requires you to pick up and move away and actually go a couple hundred or a couple thousand miles away, you know, just because that's your passion, that's what you want to do, and you work your way back up to the Philadelphia market. I was as lucky as I was to get into the Philadelphia market and stay in here, but you know, it's all about networking. When I left my job to come here, a Rowan graduate got my job, and when he left his job, a Rowan graduate got his job. So it was kind of like a whole circle of everybody moving up in the world. So it's nice to see that happened. You know, that little one job changed another life, who changed another life, and everyone else got a job. So it was nice that we all kind of, we didn't, you know, the person who got my job, he got himself the job. I just said, hey, you know, take a look at this person, and then he got that job all on his own. You know, his qualifications and his hard work got him that job. You know, I wouldn't have recommended him for that job, and I wouldn't have been considered for this job if they hadn't seen my abilities and thought that I could take on this challenge. So,
What's the best advice that someone has given you?
stay in school.
Stay in school.
Honestly,
Okay.
yeah.
Recognize your passion and continue to kind of find ways to keep it burning, and learn the new technologies if you're into technical, learn the new methods if you're into teaching, learn the new ways of exciting viewers if you're into producing and directing, and not being afraid to make mistakes is an important thing, especially for students that are on campus. This is your chance to take anything, say you don't know it, grab it, try it, and you know, if you make a mistake, there's one of us here to help you get by.
Yeah, learning from your mistakes is important. Like, everyone makes mistakes, but you have to learn from them. You know, and if you're in the industry today and you keep making the same mistake over and over again, they're going to get rid of you and they're going to can you and get somebody else. And being able to learn from your mistakes is important, but also being able to admit that you have made a mistake. You know, own up to it and say, oh, that was my fault, I'm sorry, you know, it's not going to happen again, and own up to it. Don't just sit there and deny your mistakes or lie in the field. That's the worst thing you can ever do, is just own up to your mistake and move forward, you know, and say, I can overcome this. So very important to do that. So.
All right, and just for a lasting wrap up, in this field, there's a lot of things that, you know, happen. It's ever changing and all that stuff. Do you guys have a favorite memory or something that, you know, really stood out to you working in this field?
There's a lot. I think the best things just in the industry and television industry that I've done when I was doing news was doing a lot of the, you know, human interest pieces and things like that, where you get to meet people, get into their lives. And unfortunately, some of the people that I've interviewed and done stories and went into their lives have passed since then. A lot. One of them was a child. One of them was a lady in her 40s. She had ALS, and it was sad, you know. But getting to be in there with their lives, getting to meet them and tell their stories is like, to me, was my crowning achievement, and I love doing that.
Okay. For you, do you have any like favorite times?
Well,
you know,
yeah,
being an engineer.
it's not exactly a memory from Rowan, but as a result of my experience and my networking myself down here early in my career here, late 80s, early 90s, I was a freelance camera operator and was able to fly with the National Guard outfit out of Trenton Airport and fly to Lakehurst, hanging out of a Huey helicopter with my feet on the skid, shooting an attack helicopter going by. So that gave me an excitement that wanted me to continue to be involved in video, and it's a cameraman's experience that I carry as a memory from being able to network through the Rowan contacts that I had at the time.
All right. Well, thank you, Carl and Casey, for being here on the couch with us. Make sure you stay tuned later in the broadcast to see Carl's musical performance. Next, we have Daniel Minshew and myself, Sean Kelly, with this week's Man on the Street.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
but it all
Beach
really
day.
started to
Yo,
change.
beach day, Dan, what's
because
going on?
Beach day. We got our beach clothes on.
Oh yeah, I'm tanning
Nice
right
sunny
now.
day.
I'm tanning on this beautiful sunny day right now.
Think I'll join you.
Oh,
I'll get a nice little tan line going, yeah.
Oh,
It'll look
yeah.
nice, man, yeah.
That's what we like. Get the tan on, man. Yeah, you know, I got my towel here. I got my tank, lifeguard, all day, every day. Got my swim trunks. I'm ready to go in the pool, ready to go in the ocean, ready to tan on the beach. 'Cause that's all I do every day.
And you got me, the sunglasses are essential. The shirt's gotta be unbuttoned if you got an unbuttoned shirt. What do you guys think of the beach? You like the beach?
No, I actually don't like the beach.
You don't like the beach?
Why don't you like the beach? You see some guys like us looking good, you know?
It's so
like,
warm.
we're going to the beach. You wanna come with us?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Ooh,
All right, let's go right now. It's
Let's do it.
plenty
It's
of-
beautiful out.
It's beautiful outside. Look at that sky.
Oh my God, isn't it gorgeous?
It's great.
It's
I got a
gorgeous.
beach ball. You want to?
More gorgeous than my summer
We
body.
can throw around the beach ball. Tan it.
Getting his tan on.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Get tan on.
Sun from all angles.
Oh yeah.
Get yourself a tan. Look at my tan. Oh
Sometimes I
my
have to
lord.
put the towel over like this, and then I'm not warm anymore.
I can hear the seagulls already. It's a beautiful day out. You going to the beach?
No sir.
We're heading to the beach, and we need a pal. Hey, you.
Hey.
You want to go to the beach?
Hey, you know the end of the year's coming up, and it's beach time. I'm ready to go to the beach right now on this beautiful day outside. But what do you?
I'm already at the
What's
beach
your favorite thing
mentally.
to do at the beach?
I like just going in the ocean, I guess.
Summer breeze makes me feel good. Something in my mind. Yeah. What's your favorite summer song?
I don't know. I don't have a summer song.
So, gonna go tanning, Dan.
Do the same. She doubts us. Come on,
doubts us.
come on. She's
We're
not.
gonna-
she's not
we're gonna
good.
make our sandcastle
She's not good.
ourselves.
She can't come to the beach with us. She
Can't come
thinks
to the
she
beach.
doubts our potential. We're not gonna have fun. You guys
Bye.
discouraged us.
It's all about the grind.
You ever get sunburned? I get sunburned all the time. I'm already sunburned. Look at me.
Well,
Trying to get a
it's kinda
simple
hard for
base
me to get
tan. I couldn't even
Yeah,
pull
I
it
know
off.
what you're saying. But, you going to the beach today?
No.
I know.
48
It's a beautiful
degrees.
day. It's a beautiful 48 day.
You check out the thick ocean. I'm not swimming good.
I am. Ocean City has nothing on that.
I can't swim, so
You know,
I doggy paddle. I doggy paddle.
He doggy paddles. Yo, Dan, want to get your tan on?
Yeah, I'm getting my tan on. I don't care anymore.
Whoa.
Son,
Yeah, we're getting our tan on.
don't give me too much tan.
Tan. Tan.
So we're going to the beach.
Going to the beach.
Beach cheer. Oh, spring break after spring.
Welcome back. So we just heard from Carl and Casey. Now we are joined by Cody Decker, president of RTN, and Thomas DeNapoli, the vice president of RTN. What's going on, guys?
What's happening? What's going on, guys?
It's going
Good
great.
to see you.
It's good to see you guys, and you guys are right here into your new roles. Well, Tom is into his new role. Cody is taking the charge yet again as our president. And we'll start off with Tom. Tom, VP, very high up, nice position here at the club. What was your motive and your drive to get up to that top position?
Well, I've been pretty heavily involved in RTN since I was a freshman. It all started when I guess my real good friends Benny Pinnell and Steve Romanchik kind of took me under their wing and showed me good work ethic. And seeing them succeed in what they've done through what they've done with RTN, I just want to, make that experience that I've had and hopefully turns into a good career for me. I want to have that for each member that walks into RTN. And as vice president, a lot of what you do, as you know this year with Brian Dixon doing a lot of the member buying things, it's getting members to be close. So I want to continue what Brian has done and do my best to take it a step up because it's going to be really hard to do that.
And for Cody, the repeat run as president, you've had 1 year. What made you want to run again to keep that president title?
Well, this year was challenging. The new HD studios coming in was big, but just the group I had around me, it was a really good team. And what makes so great about the group that's coming in next year is we have a lot of youth, a lot of young members, freshmen, sophomores on the executive board, and just a lot of great ideas that we heard, especially even last night in our first meeting. A lot of great ideas bouncing around, and I can't see myself in a position where I didn't want to lead this club again, and hopefully to great things next year.
Oh, that's great, Cody.
What are some ideas that you have for next year that you can kind of tell us that we can look forward to?
Well, one thing we can tell you is the channel will be going to high definition next year. That's definitely going to be happening.
Yeah.
It's going to be very exciting. So we have an agreement with SGA that's going to get done next year, and it's going to get done right away. And some other things, we might have some new studio shows coming. So make sure you check them out on our YouTube page.
some game type show, and there's also going to be like a Tonight Show, I think. So we're looking forward to seeing some new shows and some new content on RTN. It's going to be great.
And I know on my end, you know, we have the bulletin board right outside the studio, and I want to be active in continuously updating that because what people do, I do notice, is people actually do read the flyers that are on the bulletin boards that may not be marked. So I want to keep that bulletin board. It's very nice the way it is right now, but keep it constantly changing to change people's eyes, change what they see, and then they could read and look and see what's coming up, what sports, what special events, how to get involved, and then just people that actively see this bulletin board kind of grow and progress over the year and say, hey, I want to be a part of that.
Yeah, and you too, the president and the vice president, obviously have to work very closely together to maintain the great club we have here. What are you guys planning on doing together to keep and maintain the legacy of this club?
I guess also, so it's funny you mentioned me and Cody together. It's funny, as redundant as that is, but myself and Cody actually shared a room during orientation, not even knowing each other.
Oh, wow.
And then we saw each other at the first RTN meeting, and then we were in, JPP freshman year too.
Yep.
We both started broadcasting together, and they were president and vice president. So doing anything together really doesn't seem like too big of a challenge because we've pretty much done everything together
just
now.
together, man. It was meant to happen.
Yeah, I mean,
Again, the Scottie Pippen to my Michael Jordan.
Yeah, we just totally fit. I think, you know, we bounce a lot of ideas off each other, and we're on the same page with a lot of things when it comes to, you know, whether it's sports or just how to run the club. I think we have a lot of the same ideas, and it just really works and gels together.
That is so funny. I work in orientation, and I never hear of people actually being friends with their orientation roommate. So you're like a success story.
We weren't even in the same orientation group, too, because we're not the same major, but we were roommates.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really, that's amazing.
I hardly talk to the rest of my orientation roommates. He's like the only one I really talk to. Tom walks
no
in.
one ever talks to anyone.
Yeah,
though,
Tom walks in the door and just starts talking about sports, and I'm like, I'm gonna like this guy.
Well, yeah, and just you guys know, I just when the room started talking, so that's 3 years later, still haven't stopped. So.
So sticking back to orientation, what was your first experience with RTN? Where did you guys start out?
I think our experience actually is the same too as far as our first experience with RTN. We just walked into the first meeting freshman year and we met Jeremy Cashin, who was the sports producer, and really came up to him and said we were interested in being on-air talent. And right out the gate, after football season, once hockey season got started, one of the commentators was leaving for another college. They had a professional doing it at the time. And they asked us if we wanted to shadow. They asked us if we wanted to get involved and do things right away. And we knew we would have to take some behind-the-scenes positions to start out, but we were able to work our way up. And really, just by meeting that one person and being able to tell him, "Hey, we're interested. We want to do this." That was our first experience, and it was a really great experience. It was kind of a luck of the draw, really.
Was that the day Benny went to the hospital too?
That was the day Benny went to the hospital.
Yeah, so first game, the kid I mentioned before actually ate something. I had to go to the hospital for that. Which, I mean, looking back at it, it's funny at the time. It's like, wow. But no, but a lot of it was taking the initiative not only to go to the first meeting, but to actually listen to what people were saying and say, hey, if you want to commentate, come see me. Or you want to be involved with X, Y, and Z, come see me. And it's taking that step and taking that initiative to go up to a producer or a member of eBoard and say, hey, I want to do this, and just actively get involved. You can't just sit back and wait. You have to go to people.
And I remember this is my first year here at the club, and I remember walking in there being nervous on the first day as well, but the inspiration is seeing you guys up there when I first came here, and following you guys, being like under you guys this whole year really made me want to jump up and try to grab an e-board position, which I did. What advice would you give to others who come in, they look up and see you guys, or down the road they see someone like me or someone who is involved in the club, and what would you say to them to actually take that first step and really get in?
Get as much experience as you possibly can right out the gate, and it goes what Tom said about taking initiative. You need to make the approach to come up and say that you're interested in doing something. And one thing that I can say that's helped me as president is me being well-rounded in other areas, doing special events. I was programming director for a year, doing some editing. I have my hand in a little bit of everything, and that truly helped me enjoy my RTN experience, but also get the skills that I needed to be as best I can possibly be.
Yeah, it's the ability to wear multiple hats, essentially. and a little bit of patience. You're not going to do what you want right away. But also remember that this is a club. So myself and Cody are crazy, and we missed, I think, 5 hockey games in the past 2 years, including road shoots, while we were on campus. We missed, I think, 2 or 3 more because it was during winter breaks. We take trips to Penn State. We're not expecting that from everyone. You know, if you want to come help out in some capacity, if you can only show up once a week for a studio show, or you can only show up to a couple special events and a couple sports, every time you go out, you are going to learn something, and it is going to be an experience, but you don't got to be crazy like me and him. So work hard, and your hard work will pay off, and the more work you put in, the more you'll see pay off. But you don't necessarily have to kill yourself. Don't feel intimidated if you can't say yes to every single hockey shoot that you're not going to succeed and do what you want to do in RTN. Do as much as you can.
So the club, I think, has grown a lot, but what are your plans to make it grow even more, make it more known on campus as well?
Yeah, so again, like I said before, with the bulletin board and it constantly changing what people see, you know, different colors and everything, you know, stuff to draw people's eyes so they look at it. Again, Brian did an excellent job with member bonding, and if you look at last year from this year, I'd love to look at the numbers for it. RTN was a little small last year, and we had a lot of graduating seasons. I think it was around 15 plus, and we were very worried about the numbers of this club this year, and it went up. And it continued to go up through kind of the last meeting even. And just to continue that, again, positive, what an excellent thing that's very hard in TV and in film and in radio is to not play politics. And our producers and all the e-board members really haven't been playing politics. So giving everyone that equal opportunity to step up and get opportunities at what they want to do. And then you talk about just getting it on campus. So I'm an RA on campus. I would love to preach to all my residents, hey, come to this, join RTN and everything. But I think what helps too is now Rowan makes freshmen do that Rowan 101 class, and they make them go on ProfLink. So as long as we have that strong presence on social media and ProfLink, I think the club will advertise for itself.
All right, and you guys are up in these senior positions here. You guys have been on e-board before. You've gotten the experience, and starting off with Tom, you were programming. You were the student programming director and overseeing the studio shows. Has that in any way influenced your position that you're going to have this year?
Well, it's funny because part of being vice president is working with the student programming producers. So knowing exactly what that person has to do makes that transition a little easier for me. And being student programming producer was an excellent thing. And for me, it was stepping a little bit out of my comfort zone to, I wasn't too involved with the news and Game On and Rowan Roulette, but just kind of going behind the scenes and seeing how things work, seeing what the correct way producers interact with the rest of their crew. And it was just an excellent way just to look at all the communication, and I think it's going to help me a lot with that transition into vice president.
And for you, Cody, at all?
Yeah.
Your positions, you've had a lot, putting your hand in everything.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's going to be me doing the same position this year, but there are some things that I did learn this year that I need to maybe have a little more of a hand in. But just being an overall good leader and making sure the club's happy and we're putting out a good product to the community, that's what I'm focusing on.
And
that's it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Good
guys,
luck.
here on the couch.
You guys
Good luck
are
in your
gonna do
positions
great.
next year.
All
obviously,
right.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
We hope to see you around next year.
Hey,
We'll
hopefully,
be around.
I plan
We'll
on
be
seeing you
around.
guys.
I hope to see both of you.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And now, stay tuned after this break for RTN's very own Carl Frandino with an epic performance. But we are going to go right to a special RTN 25th anniversary video.
My favorite part about RTN would probably be, one, the experience you get from it. Because of RTN is where I've learned everything I know. You learn a lot in the classes, don't get me wrong, but you get the real world feel within this club. And along with that, you get to establish relationships, both professional and friends. And you get an idea of what it's like to just work in the real world.
Started out as a general member my freshman year. Sophomore year, last year, I was the programming director on the executive board. So that basically entailed programming our channel, evaluating our content. I've done a lot of sports broadcasting here at RTN. producer of All Access this year, and now the president of RTN, basically making sure everything's going smooth.
It's been so much. I've had such a great experience, and I've been happy to have this club as a place to go to when I came to college. I was really nervous coming in. I had no idea what I was going to do and get involved with. And when I came to one RTN meeting, I knew it was going to be the thing I was going to do. And 1 year already, there's just been so much I've done, and I felt like I'm a part of the family, and I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited to keep on going.
Throughout my 4 years in RTN, met a lot of people who came up to me and said, you know, Joe, I really wish that I had gotten involved in RTN earlier in my college career, because there's a lot of great people here and there's a lot that RTN has to offer that I just didn't know about, and I wish that I would have taken advantage of that.
I want to say it really hasn't changed as much as I thought it would have. There's still a really strong, you still have the really strong members, you still have everyone working together towards everything. We have the same shows for the most part. A lot more camaraderie. I mean, it was always camaraderie, but it was a lot more now. Everyone works together, everyone kind of just really, you put your differences aside and you really work towards the future.
Hockey shoots were some of my favorite shoots. I enjoyed traveling on the road and racking up our viewership in some of the more important postseason playoff tournaments that we got to travel with the RTN hockey team.
Last year is when I joined RTN because I was a transfer student. And from my experience from then until now, there has been improvements in terms of everything that happens within the office.
All of our e-board members I tried to get to as close to as possible, like Cody, Ansimo. They give me the experience that I'm going to take, through further years and stuff, especially Aaron and Brian. When I go on the shows, I feel like doing all the shows is a really great way to get in touch with those upper level producers and those higher level people in the school, and they're the ones that tell you, okay, this is how you do this, and this is how you work this monitor, and how you work this cable, and how you work this thing, and this board, and stuff like that. And it's stuff like that that's going to make it a lot easier in my classes and in future RTN projects.
All the telethons I've been on have been really eye-opening to me. When we did Habitat for Humanity freshman year, all those stories were very heartfelt, and that was my first telethon working on it, and they put me in a pretty important position as floor manager in Studio 2. That was rewarding for me. And being an interviewer on last year's telethon for Special Olympics, I've enjoyed those.
My favorite part about RTN was getting to problem solve and come up with ways to do our coverage and improve our coverage. With the TriCaster, we did a lot of live programming and really enjoyed hanging out with my friends and producing sports coverage.
You get just a basic understanding of what to expect, and with that, it only helps people improve their chances at getting a job right out of if not right out of graduation, hopefully pretty soon.
I love the family environment of RTN. I really think that it's kind of been my second family away from home. I also think that just the amount of experience that we get here and the amount of things that we're able to do, we have the new HD studios now this year. That's been fantastic. We've been able to really increase our production value that way, and just the equipment we have and just the bond we have here, it's nothing compared to anything I've ever experienced.
Welcome back to All Access. I'm Lenny Schnee with this week's edition of Prof Spotlight. Joining me are wide receiver Zach France and defensive back Bobby Barberi. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
So, guys, I want to start out really quickly just reviewing the team, how you guys are doing so far. You are 4-1 overall. You're 3-1 in the NJAC, which is fantastic start.
Hi, welcome back to Game On. I'm John. Nick.
No.
Nick, we have a show.
No. Oh, hi show.
No, you have to stop playing.
No,
you gotta do the
it's
show.
Fire Emblem.
Rowan 911 is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
No, it's not a cigarette. It's marijuana.
It's a cigarette.
No,
Paul.
sir,
Calm
down
down,
the joint.
Please, you're gonna get us both in
Put
trouble.
down the joint, sir.
Dude, do you have a lighter?
Do I have a light? You. He said fire. He said fire. Hey, put it down or I'll be forced to fire warning
Officer.
shots.
Dude, please.
Dude.
It's just a cigarette.
You've been
It's
warned.
a cigarette.
You've been warned.
Dude, it's a cigarette.
Welcome back to On the Couch. We just heard from Camp Kesem, and now we are joined by Jessica Kinnearman, Jessica Schaefer, and Vanessa Hilger from Love Your Melon. Ladies, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
So, Love Your Melon, what's it all about?
So Love Your Melon is an apparel brand run by college students, and we're dedicated to putting a hat on every child battling cancer across America and also supporting our 14 nonprofit organizations.
Awesome.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help.
Hey, Sean.
I need help.
Beach
I know
day.
that no one is going to judge
Dan,
me
what's
for
going
having
on?
a problem.
Beach day. We got a beach.
I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate, and it's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
And welcome back to On the Couch. Right now, it's what everybody's been waiting for, a great presentation, performance by Carl Frandino. So take it away.
Thank you. A couple of mellow songs for you to close the show. When I
That was
Carl.
amazing, Carl. Amazing.
Thank you so much for coming. You did great. It was really great.
Really,
Glad to
really
be
great.
here. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So before we sign off, we first want to congratulate RTN on an amazing 25 years. Congratulations to all of the past and present members. Next, this is our last show for the semester, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all our crew for all the hard work they do, and we'll be back in the fall.